Laura still doesn't know we've been laughing at her for 8 years. My best friends texted in their group chat. My hands shook as I scrolled through 3,847 messages detailing every betrayal. And that's when I decided exactly how this story was going to end. Laura still doesn't know we've been laughing at her for 8 years. My best friend posted that yesterday in their secret group chat, along with screenshots of every embarrassing thing I'd told her in confidence. They were betting on when I'd finally realize I was the joke. I found the chat by accident. Jessica left her laptop open when she went to grab coffee. A notification popped up. OMG, Laura's dating another loser, how does she keep finding them? That's when I saw it. The group chat called Laura Watch with my 5 closest friends. 8 years of messages. Thousands of them, all about me. I'm still shaking as I type this. I don't even know where to start. Look, I thought I had the best friend group in the world. Met them all in college, stayed close through everything, breakups, job changes, family drama. These were my people. Jessica was my maid of honor at my wedding to David last year. Emma helped me through my divorce 6 months ago. Katie was there when my dad died. We had weekly brunches, group vacations, a shared Pinterest board for our future kids' playdates. I trusted these women with everything. But apparently I've been their entertainment for almost a decade. The chat started junior year of college, right after I got dumped by Connor. You know, that guy I was crazy about who ghosted me after 3 months. I was devastated. Cried to my friends for weeks about how I wasn't good enough, how he probably found someone prettier. Turns out Emma had been hooking up with him the entire time. And they were all laughing about it in their secret chat. She's so clueless. Poor Laura thinks Connor actually liked her personality. Should we tell her she talks too much when she's nervous? Nah, this is too entertaining. 8 fucking years of this. Every guy I dated, every job interview I stressed about, every time I felt insecure and reached out for support. They were documenting it all, rating my boyfriends, sharing screenshots of my most vulnerable texts, making inside jokes about my tragic life choices. They called me their charity case, said keeping me around made them feel better about themselves. Jessica literally wrote, Laura's like a daily reminder of what not to be. But here's the thing that's making me physically sick. They weren't just passively watching my life fall apart. They were actively sabotaging it. Remember David, my ex-husband? The one who left me because he said I was too clingy and overshared everything. Yeah, turns out Mia had been feeding him information about our conversations, telling him I was desperate and probably talking about him to everyone. She convinced him I was crazy. The job I lost last year. Emma works in HR at a company I interviewed with. She told them I had interpersonal issues and wasn't a culture fit. Every guy who suddenly stopped texting me after a few dates, they'd find them on social media and send anonymous messages about how I was obsessed with my exes and had daddy issues. For 8 years, I thought I was just unlucky in love and life. Turns out my best friends were orchestrating my failures and laughing about it in 4K HD detail. The worst part, the most recent messages from this week. Think Laura's figured out we set her up with Marcus as a joke. Katie, Marcus is this guy they insisted I had to meet last month. I thought they were being good friends. She hasn't. She's still texting about how maybe this one is different. I almost feel bad, but her dating updates are peak comedy. Don't feel bad. She brings this on herself by being so fucking naive. They screenshot my texts about Marcus. About how I was scared to hope, but maybe I'd finally found someone who got me. They shared the voice message I sent Jessica at 2 a.m. about how he made me feel beautiful for the first time since my divorce. They turned my healing into their entertainment. I've been sitting in my car outside Jessica's apartment for 2 hours, just scrolling through years of messages. My hands are literally shaking. 8 years of friendship. 8 years of thinking these women had my back. 8 years of being the butt of a joke I didn't even know existed. The group chat is still active. They're planning our monthly brunch for this weekend. Discussing what Laura drama they think I'll bring this time. I haven't responded to any of their texts today. They probably think I'm busy with work or something. They have no idea I know. I need advice, Reddit. What the fuck do I do with this information? Do I confront them? Do I just disappear? Do I burn their whole world down like they've been slowly burning mine? Because right now, scorched earth is looking really fucking tempting. Has anyone else discovered their entire friendship was a lie? How do you even process something like this? Update 1. Okay, Reddit, you asked for an update. And boy, do I have one for you. First off, thank you. Seriously, the The response to my original post was overwhelming, and reading your stories helped me realize I wasn't crazy. This shit is psychological warfare, and I deserved better. So remember how I found that group chat? Well, I've been busy, really fucking busy. After sitting in that car for 3 hours reading 8 years of messages, something clicked. The numbness wore off and this ice-cold clarity set in. These women didn't just betray me, they gaslit me into thinking I was the problem for years, made me believe I was unlovable, unsuccessful, and fundamentally flawed. When really, I was just surrounded by sociopaths, so I did what any rational person would do. I screenshot everything. All 3,847 messages. Every cruel comment, every sabotage plan, every laugh at my expense. Organized them by person and topic. Made a fucking spreadsheet because I'm petty like that. Then I made some calls. Remember Emma, who told my potential employer I had interpersonal issues? Turns out her own company takes whistleblowing very seriously, especially when HR employees abuse their position to damage people's careers. I sent her boss a detailed email with screenshots of her admitting to sabotaging my interview. Let's just say Emma's LinkedIn status recently changed to seeking new opportunities. Katie? Sweet Katie, who shared my private breakdown about my dad's death in the group chat for entertainment. She's a licensed therapist. Has a whole Instagram about mental health awareness and supporting friends through grief. I submitted a complaint to her licensing board with evidence of her mocking a grieving person and sharing confidential emotional information for laughs. Her Instagram went dark yesterday. Mia works for a nonprofit focused on women supporting women. The irony was too perfect. I sent their board of directors a lovely email about how one of their employees spent years systematically destroying another woman's self-esteem. Attached some greatest hits from the chat. Mia's bio disappeared from their website this morning. And Jessica? Oh, Jessica, my former maid of honor who screenshot my 2 a.m. voice messages about finally feeling hopeful about love again. Jessica who convinced David I was crazy and clingy. She runs a successful lifestyle blog about female friendship and authenticity. Has 50K followers who eat up her posts about building your tribe and supporting your girls. I created a burner Instagram account and posted the entire Laura Watch group chat as a story series. Didn't mention her by name, just said, when your bestie's lifestyle brand is built on lies, and included screenshots of her actual messages. Tagged her blog account. Her comments section became a battlefield within hours. Followers were not impressed to see their authentic friendship guru had been psychologically torturing someone for entertainment. She lost 15K followers in 2 days and deleted all her social media. But here's the really beautiful part. They still don't know I know. They've been texting me all week asking if I'm okay. You've been so quiet lately. Missing you at brunch? Hope work isn't too stressful. The cognitive dissonance is mind-blowing. They're genuinely confused why I'm not engaging. Meanwhile, their individual worlds are quietly collapsing and they can't figure out why. Marcus, by the way, the guy they set me up with as a joke, I decided to be honest with him, told him the whole story. Turns out he had no idea about their intentions, he genuinely liked me. We've been talking every day since and honestly, he's been incredible. Supportive, furious on my behalf, and weirdly turned on by my systematic takedown approach. Remind me never to cross you, he said yesterday. This is some Game of Thrones level revenge. The best part was watching their chat in real time as their lives started falling apart. Remember, I still have access through Jessica's laptop since she never logged out. Why is everything going wrong this week? Emma, after getting fired. Someone reported me to the licensing board for no reason. Katie, my blog sponsors are pulling out. Jessica, I think someone's targeting us. Mia, they're starting to connect the dots. The paranoia is setting in. Yesterday's messages were chef's kiss. Do you think Laura knows? Katie, impossible. She's too trusting. Emma, but the timing is weird. Mia, should we tell her what's happening to us? Jessica, no. If she doesn't know, telling her would be stupid. Emma, they're scared. And they should be, because I'm not done. See, I've been thinking about that brunch this weekend. The one they planned while discussing what Laura drama I'd bring for their entertainment. I'm going to show up, act completely normal, maybe even seem extra happy and bubbly. And then I'm going to watch them squirm as they try to figure out if their nice, naive little punching bag has finally grown some claws. The psychological warfare they put me through for 8 years, they're about to get a master class in how it feels. Anyone else ever orchestrated a slow burn revenge plot? Because I'm discovering I have a real talent for this. Update 2 Reddit. I think I might have created monsters. Or maybe I just revealed what was always there. Quick recap for newcomers. Discovered my friend group had a secret chat called Laura Watch where they mocked me for 8 years. I systematically destroyed their careers' reputations while they had no idea I knew. Last update, I was planning to go to our group brunch and watch them squirm. Well, that brunch happened, and it was beautiful chaos. I showed up 20 minutes late on purpose, looking absolutely fucking radiant. New haircut, cute dress, this glow that comes from finally knowing your worth. Marcus had taken me shopping the day before because apparently I'd been dressing to hide for years without realizing it. The energy at the table was tense. You could cut it with a knife. Emma looked exhausted. Turns out getting fired and having to move back in with your parents at 29 really takes it out of you. Katie was clearly on edge, kept checking her phone obsessively. Mia seemed smaller somehow, less of that mean girl confidence. And Jessica could barely make eye contact. But here's where it gets interesting. They were still trying to maintain the facade. Laura, you look amazing, new haircut. Jessica, fake smile plastered on, thanks, just trying some new things, cleaning house, you know? Me, with the most innocent smile, I watched Jessica's face go pale. The double meaning wasn't lost on her. For an hour, I played the part perfectly, asked about their weeks with genuine concern. Oh, Emma, I heard about your job. That's so crazy how these things just come out of nowhere, right? Katie, someone mentioned you were dealing with some professional stuff. That must be so stressful when it feels like people are targeting you for no reason. Their faces were priceless. The paranoia was eating them alive. Then Mia, bless her heart, couldn't handle it anymore. Laura, has anyone approached you recently about us? She asked carefully. What do you mean? I tilted my head, picture of innocence. Like, asking questions about our friendship, maybe about things we've said privately. The table went dead silent. I could practically hear their hearts pounding. No, why would someone do that? What things? I asked, voice getting smaller like I was worried. And that's when they broke. Emma started crying, just straight up sobbing into her mimosa. We think someone's trying to ruin our lives and we don't know why. Katie joined in. Someone reported me to my licensing board with fabricated evidence. They're investigating me for ethics violations. Jessica, my sponsors dropped me because of fake screenshots someone posted. My entire business is falling apart. I let them spiral for a good 10 minutes, offered tissues, made sympathetic noises, asked follow-up questions that made them relive their panic. Finally, when they were all thoroughly worked up, I pulled out my phone. Oh my God, you guys, I think I know what happened. Their eyes all snapped to me with desperate hope. I found something on Jessica's laptop last week when I borrowed it, a group chat called Laura Watch. I wasn't sure what it was, but now that you're all having problems, you could have heard a pin drop. Jessica went completely white. Emma stopped crying mid-sob. Katie's hands started shaking. Mia just stared at me like she was seeing a ghost. I didn't read much of it, I continued innocently, but it seemed like you guys were talking about me. For a really long time, I wasn't sure if I should bring it up, but with everything happening to you. The silence stretched for what felt like hours, but was probably 30 seconds. Then Emma broke. Laura, we can explain. Explain what? I asked, still playing confused. Were you guys talking about me behind my back? And that's when Jessica completely lost it. It wasn't supposed to hurt you. We never thought you'd find out. It was just, God, it started as a joke in college and then it became this thing we couldn't stop. We didn't mean for it to go so far. Go so far how? My voice was getting harder now. Katie jumped in. The boys you dated, the jobs. We thought we were protecting you from getting hurt worse later. I almost laughed. Protecting me by sabotaging my relationships and career? Mia tried damage control. Laura, you have to understand, we love you. This was never about hurting you. It was just entertainment. We were young and stupid and entertainment. I repeated the word slowly. My pain was your entertainment. Emma was full on hyperventilating now. We fucked up. We know we fucked up, but someone is targeting us specifically because of this, and we think they might come after you next. The beautiful irony. They were so narcissistic they couldn't even fathom that sweet, naive little Laura could be the architect of their destruction. I let them stew in that fear for another minute. Then I smiled. Oh, you don't need to worry about someone coming after me, I said sweetly. I'm the someone. The look of dawning horror on their faces was worth 8 years of psychological torture. You see, when I found your little chat, I didn't just skim it. I read all 3,847 messages. I screenshot everything. I made spreadsheets. And then I systematically destroyed each of your lives the same way you destroyed mine. Jessica started crying again. Emma looked like she might throw up. Katie was frantically trying to text someone under the table, probably her lawyer. 8 years, I continued, my voice steady now. 8 years of making me think I was unlovable, that I was the problem, that I was just unlucky in life when really you were pulling the strings. I stood up, threw a 20 on the table for my untouched breakfast. Consider this your resignation from my life, effective immediately. And ladies, if any of you try to contact me again, I have 7 years' worth of evidence documenting your harassment, cyberbullying, and career sabotage. I'd be happy to share it with more people. I walked out to the sound of Emma ugly crying and Jessica trying to convince the others they needed to fix this somehow. Spoiler alert, there's no fixing this. Since the brunch confrontation, my phone has been blowing up. Apology texts, angry texts, desperate voicemails, everything from "you're a psychopath" to "please let's talk about this like adults." I blocked them all after forwarding their messages to Marcus with the caption, "They're still not getting it." Speaking of Marcus, he took me out for celebration drinks that night. Told me watching me take back my power was the hottest thing he'd ever seen. We made it official that weekend. Turns out when you're not constantly being gaslit and sabotaged, dating is actually pretty great. The aftermath has been poetic justice in action. Emma had to move back to her hometown in Ohio. Her new LinkedIn says she's working retail while exploring new opportunities. Katie's license is under review. She might lose her therapy practice entirely. Mia got a job at a much smaller nonprofit making half her previous salary. Jessica's trying to rebuild her brand as a redemption story, posting about learning from mistakes and growing from failure. She has 12K followers now instead of 50K. The comments are not kind. Meanwhile, I got a promotion at work. Apparently, when you're not constantly stressed about why your life keeps falling apart, you perform better professionally. Shocking. I've reconnected with college friends I lost touch with. Turns out my best friends had been subtly discouraging those relationships for years. And Marcus, he's amazing, supportive, funny, genuinely kind. Everything they convinced me I didn't deserve. The best part is they'll never fully recover from this, because everyone in our extended social circle knows now. Word spreads fast when there's proof. They can't gaslight their way out of screenshots. Sometimes I catch myself almost feeling guilty. 8 years is a long time to maintain a deception, and maybe part of them did care about me in their twisted way. Then I remember Emma laughing about me crying over my dad's death, or Jessica sharing my private breakdown about feeling unlovable, or Mia actively sabotaging my job prospects. And the guilt disappears real fucking quick. Some people deserve the consequences of their actions, even if it takes 8 years to deliver them. Next update will be the last one, because unlike them, I'm done making other people's downfall my entertainment. I've got a life to live. Final update, it's been 6 months since the brunch showdown, and honestly, I almost didn't write this update because my life has become so normal, happy, even. It's weird how quickly you can heal when you're not surrounded by people actively trying to break you down. But I know some of you have been following this saga, and I wanted to give you closure. Plus, there have been some developments that are too good not to share. First, the important stuff. Marcus and I moved in together last month. I know, it's fast. But when you've spent 8 years with people teaching you that you're hard to love, and then you meet someone who thinks you're incredible just as you are, you don't waste time second-guessing it. He proposed last week. Nothing fancy, just us on the couch watching Netflix, and he turned to me and said, "I want to spend the rest of my life watching you be brilliantly, unapologetically yourself." I'm still crying happy tears about it. Work has been incredible. Turns out when you're not constantly stressed about friend drama and manufactured chaos, you can actually focus. I got promoted to senior analyst, and I'm leading my first major project. My confidence is through the roof. I also started seeing a therapist, not because I'm broken, but because I wanted to understand how I let myself be manipulated for so long. Dr. Chen helped me see that I wasn't naive or stupid. I was targeted by people who recognized my loyalty and exploited it. There's a difference. Now for the updates you're actually here for. Remember how I said they'd never fully recover? I was right. Emma lasted 3 months at her retail job before getting fired for attitude issues. Shocking. She moved to a different state, and as far as I know, she's still unemployed. Her Instagram went from lifestyle blogger wannabe to complete radio silence. Katie lost her license. The ethics board found her violations serious enough to revoke it permanently. She can't practice therapy anymore. Last I heard through mutual acquaintances, she's working as a receptionist at a dentist's office and considering going back to school for something completely different. Mia managed to keep her nonprofit job but got demoted after the board investigation. She's basically answering phones now instead of running programs. Her LinkedIn is sad, but Jessica? Oh, Jessica had the most spectacular fall from grace. Remember how she was trying to rebrand as a redemption story? Well, that backfired spectacularly when one of her former sponsors decided to share their own experience with her. Turns out she'd been stealing content from smaller creators for years and had bullied several young women who called her out on it. The internet loves a good takedown story, and Jessica became the main character in her own nightmare. Think Caroline Calloway levels of public dragging. Someone even made a TikTok series about influencers who built their brand on lies that featured our group chat screenshots prominently. She deleted all her social media and, according to her sister, who reached out to apologize for Jessica's behavior, she's working at their dad's insurance office and going through a rough time. I should feel bad about how thoroughly their lives imploded. I should feel guilty that my actions had such lasting consequences. But I don't, because here's what I learned from therapy. They didn't just play a prank that went too far. They engaged in systematic psychological abuse. They isolated me from other friends, destroyed my self-esteem, sabotaged my relationships and career, and documented my pain for their entertainment. Dr. Chen called it covert narcissistic abuse and said the gaslighting component was particularly severe. For 8 years, they made me believe my reality was wrong while they orchestrated the problems they were helping me through. That's not friendship gone wrong, that's emotional terrorism. A few weeks ago, I ran into Jessica at the grocery store, first time I'd seen any of them since the brunch confrontation. She looked small, tired, like all the fight had gone out of her. She approached me hesitantly and said, "Laura, can we talk?" I thought about it for a moment. Part of me was curious what she had to say. But then I realized I didn't owe her closure. I didn't owe her forgiveness. I didn't owe her anything. "I don't think that's a good idea," I said politely and continued shopping. She followed me for a few aisles, trying to start conversations. "I know you hate us, but we were young and stupid. We never meant for things to go as far as they did. Don't you think the punishment has been enough?" Finally, I stopped and turned to her. "Jessica, you spent 8 years documenting my pain for entertainment. You screenshot my most vulnerable moments and turned them into jokes. You convinced my husband I was crazy. You cost me jobs, relationships, and years of self-worth. And you want to know if I think your consequences are enough?" Her eyes filled with tears. "We were your friends, Laura. That has to count for something." "Friends don't do what you did," I said simply. "And if you truly understood the damage you caused, you wouldn't be asking me to minimize your consequences to make yourself feel better." I left her standing there in the cereal aisle and finished my shopping in peace. That interaction crystallized something for me. They still don't get it. Even after losing everything, they still think this was a friendship that went wrong rather than an abusive dynamic they created and maintained. They're not sorry they hurt me. They're sorry they got caught and faced consequences. That's why I don't feel guilty about the aftermath. Some people need to lose everything before they have a chance to become better humans. And some people never become better humans at all. Either way, it's not my responsibility to fix them or minimize the damage they cause to make their consequences more comfortable. For anyone following this story who's dealing with toxic friends or family, trust your instincts. If people make you feel small, confused about your own reality, or like you're constantly the problem in your own life, pay attention to that feeling. You deserve friends who celebrate your wins, support you through losses, and never make you question your worth. You deserve people who build you up instead of tearing you down for entertainment. And if you find yourself surrounded by people who don't meet that standard, there's no shame in walking away, even if it means starting over, even if they call you crazy or dramatic or ungrateful. Sometimes scorched earth is the only way to clear space for something beautiful to grow. Speaking of beautiful things, Marcus and I are planning a small wedding next spring. Just family and real friends. People who actually love us and want us to be happy. I'm not inviting anyone from college, not because I'm bitter, but because I learned the difference between people who are in your life to love you and people who are in your life to use you. These days, I only surround myself with the first kind. To everyone who followed this saga and shared your own stories of toxic friendships, thank you. You helped me realize I wasn't crazy, I wasn't overreacting, and I deserved better. Sometimes the best revenge isn't destruction. It's building a life so full of genuine love and happiness that your abusers become irrelevant. That's exactly what I did. And now, I barely think about them at all, unless I'm writing Reddit updates, apparently. But this is the last one, I promise. Time to go live my beautifully boring, drama-free life with people who actually deserve me. Peace out, Reddit. Thank you for being there when I needed you most.